Hello. In this video, we will be talking about how to use Task Manager, disk cleanup, and defragment and optimize drives to improve your computer's performance on Windows. So, for Task Manager, there's multiple ways to open it up. The easiest way is to press the Control, Shift, and Escape keys as a shortcut. You can type Task Manager in the Windows Start menu. There you go. You can right click the taskbar and press Task Manager. Last way is to press Windows and R, the Windows key and R, and then type in task mgr. Boom. So once you've opened Task Manager for the first time, you'll see the fewer details page. All you have to do is press more details, and you get to see way more options. The Processes tab shows all running processes on the Windows machine. You're able to see which processes are taking up which amount of resources. And you're also able to see different things like file location. So command line shows where the program is located in on your machine. There's a bunch of different things you can do to customize Task Manager. You're able to see the process name, bunch of different things like CPU, memory, disk, network, and GPU. The Performance tab shows how much hardware is being utilized by the machine. You're able to see graphs, percentages, as well as other metrics such as speed, processes, runtime, base speed, how many cores you have, how much RAM is being used, the disk utilization, as well as internet traffic. And you can even check your graphics card temperature, which is pretty nice. Now, one reason why I use Task Manager very often is because you're able to see which disks Windows can see or which disks are available, as well as if you installed more memory, you can check to see if it actually recognizes that. If you overclock stuff like your memory speed, you're able to check that to see if it went through properly. Same with your CPU. Mine is just at its base speed, so I didn't do any overclocking, but if you did, you can check it here. The App History tab, this one just shows different statistics from Universal Windows Program Apps, also known as UWP apps. So it gives you very basic things like how long you've had the application open for, how much network has been used, and then there might be a couple other things, but it's not very useful, at least not to me. The Startup tab shows how fast it took your computer to start, so last BIOS time, 8.7 seconds. It'll always change, give or take a couple seconds, depending on, if there's a Windows update or whatever. But this is really good, and this is probably the coolest tab in Task Manager because you're able to see which programs run at startup. So, me personally, I have two applications running on startup, Voicemeeter, and then Portmaster. A lot of programs that you download on your computer will automatically start up on Windows when you start your computer. So it's good to check this if your computer is running slow or if a lot of resources are being utilized at startup. Disable all the things you don't need. Just because you disable an application from running at startup doesn't mean it won't work. For example, I disabled Microsoft Edge, but if I want to open Microsoft Edge, I could just do that. Oops. There we go. Okay. All right. See? So Microsoft Edge still works even though it doesn't run as startup. And what this does is it reduces the amount of processes, because the more applications you have running at startup, the more processes are going to be running in the background. And again, just takes up more resources, and it makes your computer sluggish. So it's a good idea to look over this list. Now, it doesn't show every single thing that starts at startup. A lot of Windows services and processes that are needed are not going to show up here. They show up in other spots. There's a tool that I use called Autoruns, which allows you to view everything, not just programs, but DLL files, .sys files. So it's very good tool, but we're not going to talk about that today. All right, next tab, users tab. This shows every user logged into the computer. So in my personal case, there's only one user on the computer, right? But if this was a computer that was shared between, multiple people, you can see every single user signed in and then how much resources they're using. The details tab shows all running processes. It's similar to the processes tab here, except it gives more information. It will show you which user. So if you had multiple users, it would show you which user started the program. And sometimes local service or the system, these are all Windows processes that automatically run at startup. So you're able to know which is which and who is running what. The services tab shows all services installed on your computer. If you use Bluetooth, you'll see Bluetooth here. I have it stopped because my computer doesn't have Bluetooth. But if you did use Bluetooth, this is where you'd see it. If you have any problems with Bluetooth not working, you can check here. Right click, start and stop, or restart. That usually fixes the issue. If not, always restart your computer. Now, there's a lot of services. Not all of them are running currently, but they're able to run. So one thing I recommend doing is disabling some of the services you do not need. If you do not need Bluetooth, you can disable Bluetooth. If you do not use like Wi-Fi, if you have an Ethernet connection, you can disable the Wi-Fi, etc., etc. But this is a good way to help your computer run faster and then have less things going on, even on idle.